address that issue and really entertain the opportunity to bring back some of these paras as non-instructional. So I would like to make a motion that we do that. And I would ask that one of the board members second. Yes, go ahead and ask the question, sir.
I'm not sure from my understanding, school board requires some kind of highly professional, or highly qualified. I'm not sure what
go ahead, I'll let Mrs. Silva address the issue, but we as a board also did hear that highly qualified paras, and if I'm wrong, then the professionals can correct me, have to be in place for instructional. But when they're providing direct patient, student care, there are those, we got students that are still need help going to the bathroom. They need to be cleaned up daily. They need help just moving. Some of the paras are just lit. There are people who aren't helping them with their ABCs and their math. They are literally caregivers. And we do need these valuable people, and they can still be a part of the team in another realm. And it was something that we were offered early on, and we as a board, for whatever the reason, opted at that time not to. But I think that at this point, I think it's a very good idea, and it's an opportunity for us to do right by the children.
Can we hear from the superintendent before we take a vote on it?
There is a regulation that indicates that if a para is not dealing directly with instruction, because we have so many different kinds of needs in our children, we can in fact hire, and it's in the regulations. We can in fact hire non-instructional paras.
that is a allowable fund for Taiwan. I don't recall the vote that we voted about this when we said no. Can anybody remind me why we did that?
I believe it was through the chair.
No, I do remember. Yes, sir.
Through the chair. As far as I remember, at the time of the paras discussion, the members that I know on the board, everyone was in favor of keeping the paras as long as it would be legal and go with the school-wide. So the non-instructional paras, I don't know why we even terminated the employment if they didn't have to be highly qualified. My impression was that everyone, non and instructional, had to be highly qualified, but if that's not the case, then we should not terminate them in the first place.
I think what we also have to discuss is that we got to look at the letter of the law. Although I was not in support of school-wide, in order for the school-wide application to go through, we have way more instructional para needs than we do non-instructional. So we had to do something to get the instructional paras we needed. But we do have a few positions.
What I'm saying is that at the time of the paras discussion, the question was asked specifically.
Yes.
Are there any paras that could be kept and still go along with the school-wide? The answer was no.
We were told yes. It'll be in the minutes. We were told yes, but the board, we voted as a board. I remember it was a very, very
that was only about
heated discussion that night. And I think, let's just say we're being informed that it won't hurt our school-wide application. It will help the motion. It's in the second. It's already in the second.
I think there's wide support on the board, so I just...
Okay.
Through the chair?
Yes.
The 1 minute, please.
Yes.
I want to make sure you're cognizant. You can make the motion, and it's appropriate to make the motion, but the only person who can hire and fire people in the Board of Education and recommend them is the superintendent.
We're aware.
Sure. You know where.
But she needs to have the authority to do so. We sort of had made a vote before that previously.
That she couldn't do so.
Yes, I forget the reason. I just know it was very heated.
Yes.
But at this point, the board has looked at it, I think, in the interest of the children and having some of those non-instructionals, I think that they've revisited. So if there's no other discussion, if Mr. Finger...
I put you one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Is this going to be something that we are going... is this a position that we didn't have last year? We're creating it again for this year?
I believe that we've always had non-instructional paras, but at the time, everybody did not have not everybody had the highly qualified, nor was it necessary because we weren't going for school-wide.
Okay.
Now that we are going for the school-wide, the instructional paras have to be highly qualified.
Now, we're going to end up having more employees. Is there enough employees?
Actually, I don't know necessarily, and again, that's
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
it's not.
All right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
They will be hired back at the same pay rate, correct?
Yes.
Is it
Mrs.
budgeted for?
Mrs. Vecchio, hold on one
Okay,
second.
following the discussion we just had, my question would be then, we may hire some that have not quite passed the test.
For non-instructional only.
Okay, that's good. All right, well, thank you.
All right, Mr. Finger, call it, please.
Okay, Mr. Fay? Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Ms. Vecchio?
Yes.
Mr. Ostreicher?
Yes.
Mr. Seidler?
Yes.
Mr. Silver?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
And Mrs. Lockett?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Everybody can get on their knees.
At this point, correspondence and communications.
I just want to be clear, and again, I don't want to clap or boo. That now allows the superintendent to
Yes.
hire them, but she has to put it on the agenda.
And I also want to
Is that
add,
right?
yes, and I also want to add to what Michael says, and not to single out any one employee, but at the end of the day, Mrs. Silver still gets to look at the people that she will hire, and every, that's on an individual basis, but it does give all those that were here an opportunity, if I was not, just me, if I was not a good employee and they had a chance to rehire me or not, they get a choice. So there still is a choice, but now that we have the non-instructional positions available, many of those good powers that we do have that we know will fit that bill do have an opportunity. So I'm truly grateful to the board for the administration. All right, committee reports. Any committee reports? Okay.
From the Building and Grounds Committee, I just want to update everyone.
Mr. Fink, speaking of
We've been working with the town on quite a few issues that Mr. Finger had enlightened us on. And I just want to report a few things. The Clifton Avenue School, the township will take care of the playground. Mulch has been ordered and hopefully it will be put down before the end of this week. The tree removal, which Mr. Finger had mentioned, is very costly. The township at cost will take care of all the trees in all the schools. I'm not quite sure, Bob, what kind of numbers this will save us, but you had indicated it was large dollars. And the potholes, right now, are in the process of being fixed. Clark School is under construction right now of having all the potholes fixed. Hopefully, we should have everything done.
Respect, this is about us in our schools. Please, everyone, please listen.
The middle school should be done sometime late this week or early next week. The high school in the back has a lot of potholes. So they're working on that, and they keep on telling me that everything will be done before school opens. We're going to be walking around with Aramark on the 30th and 31st, but I'm trying to move that up, and I've asked Tracy Tip to join us on the committee. Tracy has been doing this for quite some time, so his presence would really help out. The two issues that I've been speaking to the mayor and the township committee is on the garbage removal, and they're not pending on that for this year. For next year, they will sit down and discuss it. Snow removal is definitely out for this year.
Okay. Well, I just want to really commend Mr. Fink because all of that report that he obtained, that's a lot of work. He spends a lot of time in the school. We're up here doing what we do, but I really want to commend him because, a lot of people don't realize what a lot of the board members are doing behind the scenes. And I really thank you for that thorough report because we need to know. Any other committee reports?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
The Finance Committee met and we went over several issues regarding contracts. We also discussed the schedule of the budget, and we planned for another meeting on, I believe, the 23rd at 9 o'clock in the morning for the Finance Committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ostreicher. Any additional? Seeing none, reports, recommendations of the Board Secretary, Business Administrator.
Well, there are obviously some changes to tonight's agenda. One was Thank you, getting the name right, Marlene Lynch Ford, as opposed to just Marlene Lynch. On page 12 of the agenda, item 13, the salary should not read $144,490. It's been corrected to read $130,000. On page 16 of the agenda, item 4, teacher coordinators for the high school, there was an error in the stipend amount. It was incorrectly listed as $2,063 for each one. Upon reviewing the LEA contract, the correct amount for these teacher coordinators is $3,960 per year, based on the expired contract for 2009-10, which continues into 10-11. We have also several addendums for this evening. First addendum, under Business Administrator, approval to rescind the contract with Tiny Tots, previously approved at the July 28, 2010 board meeting to operate a preschool program for the 2010-11 school year in the amount of $3,100,000, and to authorize the Chief School Administrator to hire district staff, supplies, and any and all other needs to operate the program. Next addendum, to rescind all parental contracts previously approved by the board and authorize the school business administrator to solicit bids for the 2010-11 school year. Parental contracts that the board previously approved for 90 days at the July 28, 2010 board meeting are still in effect, as bids have been solicited for them and will be opened on August 24, 2010. Approval of an addendum in the amount of $220,000 to the 2010-2011 IDEA non-public supplemental services contract previously approved by the board at the June 30, 2010 board meeting in the amount of $4,136,000 to operate the Oris, Yisrael, and Ellis programs which were paid for during the 2009-10